What's up, everybody? I am Gandhi, and today this is Gandhi's Thoughts number 59, and I'm going to do a little bit of a trilogy here. Now, I didn't really know what I wanted to talk about in my next couple of episodes, so I figured I'd ask, the people on Twitter, see what they think and everything, and everyone said, what you want in Halo 5? And I figured the best possible way I can do this is do it in a trilogy. I think the best things are in a trilogy, Lord of the Rings is pretty fucking cool. That's a trilogy. The Bourne series, awesome. The Matrix was average at best after the first one, but that's the road I'm going to go with. Today I'm going to be talking about the online experience and the ranking system. I think these two are very, very big in regards to the fucking successfulness of the game. Now, before I get into that, I do have two things I want to say. One I already screwed up, so I was going to attempt to not curse throughout this, but that's already out the window, so that one's gone. And the other thing is Team Beyond, or Go Beyond Entertainment, has launched their store. They're going to be featuring a wide range of different kinds of shirts and different kind of products. So teambeyond.net, you guys can go there and check all that stuff out. And hopefully you guys like it and everything's cool. I think Saucy and Siren are really going to be listening to the community. So if you want to make shirt designs, post them on the forums. They may get picked up and, you may get a pat on the back or something like that. I don't know how it works. But shall we jump into this discussion of today? So the first thing I want to talk about is the online experience. Now, when we say the online experience, there's a lot of different things that a lot of people think, and they're not necessarily sure as to what everyone means by it. So when I'm talking just the online experience, I'm talking about when you load that disc on and you sign into Xbox Live, what's the matchmaking like? Right now we have a crap load of playlists. We have way too many playlists than what we need. Now, I understand that it kind of serves their points. You're trying to fit a bunch of people in different categories, and I know this is going to sound tailored to the competitive scene, but in the same sense, it just makes it cleaner. I don't want to have a bunch of different playlists. I don't want to have SWAT, Capture the Flag, Objective, Big Team Battle, Infinity Slayer, Big Team Battle, Objective. We don't need all of that. And I understand, games like Flood and Griffball, I understand because they fit their own niche. But why not just make its own little separate category? Grab Bag is that name. When I heard it for the free for all, I was like, oh, this is perfect. That's what they should call everything that's not Team Slayer in the online playlist. Just call it Grab Bag, and then you're going to either be playing King of the Hill, Oddball, or I guess Capture the Flag, or whatever else there is. Just reduce it. I don't want to have to scroll to the bottom. A big part of the online experiences is knowing accessibility. It makes a lot more sense for us to have Throwdown more up to the top. And the reason why is because, people can find the competitive playlist, they can get into the competitive scene, and then what happens is the big personalities actually end up outsourcing the game for you, and you being 343, we outsource the game for you by just us being here. People want to be as good as Snipe Downs. They want to be as good as Ninjas. They want to be able to be as optimistic as Dursky, that's what happens. So bringing it up to the top is better. And the placement of where you're at is huge. If you have to scroll all the way down to the bottom, a lot of people, it's going to be very difficult for a person who's just jumping on the game to accidentally find Team Throwdown right now. He would literally have to try to screw up. He would have to click right trigger twice and then attempt to click something and just miss completely. It's not like he's just going to be like, oh, that sounds pretty cool. I'm not going to do that. No. But, he will see Team SWAT and Infinity Slayer and stuff like that, and he'll give it a shot. So what I'm trying to say is if we have to scroll, if you have to basically scroll through one page and 2 pages to the different game types online, I think that's awful. I don't think we can do that. I think we just reduce it down to just a little bit. Now, I'm going to take it a step further here with this online experience. I know everyone's going to be like, oh, you're just an old guy, way to not be able to adjust. And what I have to say to you is, fuck you. If you're sitting there and you say, oh, you're not willing to adjust, and I say, no, screw you. you're willing to adjust to a game that has 24,000 concurrent people on it at peak times. I'm coming from a game that has fucking thousands and thousands of times more than that. Okay, so I know what works online and what doesn't, or at least I think I know. And I'll tell you what the main thing was, is there was two separate kind of playlists here that we were dealing with from back in the day. You had your ranked and you had your social. The big thing about social is that's where all casual people can go. Now, I don't even know if there could be like the big thing with social is let's say you didn't have two Xbox Live accounts on your hard drive or on your Xbox, and you wanted to play the competitive playlist, or you wanted to play like Team Slayer, like those game types, those maps, you couldn't. But what you could do is you could go into social and play other people who have a guest. So it was very, very easy to have your buddies come over and be like, oh, dude, you got to play this game. It's so amazing. And they're like, I don't know about Halo. I don't think I'm ready for that. Like, I'm still on my PS2. Like, relax. And so the transition over was very, very easy for a lot of people because I could bring my friends over and say, we're playing Halo 2. And they say, oh, well, I don't have this, and I don't think I want to play it. And then I go, okay, well, let's just go into social and see if you like it. And then they play it. And then they love it. It's just how it is. So the big thing with social is it's basically like a gateway drug to the game for a lot of people who may not be able to afford the systems, or just basically people who haven't given the game a shot. And right now, we are at a time where people probably aren't going to be willing to give the game a shot. Now, I could be wrong when I say that, but just looking at numbers and seeing a lot of people just drop off, I think there's going to be a decent amount of people. I would be very, very surprised to see the sales of this game, of Halo 5, compared to Halo 4. I think Halo 4 is, well, but the thing, actually, I guess I wouldn't be, because 343 and the guys of the studios do an excellent job marketing Halo. Like, that's irrefutable. And I remember when I went to E3, there was just like a 17,000 different humongous pictures of the Master Chief all over the place. So I guess it really comes down to the marketing scheme there, but social's cool. Imagine having like a social Team Throwdown playlist, right? So you can go in there, you can bring your buddies in, and it doesn't affect your rank. You can show them everything. A social Infinity Slayer. Everything. There. Boom. Done. But now let's talk this is how it's gonna get. So I covered the casual and I covered the social. That's done. Now I'm gonna talk about the competitive side of things. So first I'm gonna talk about the two different types of playlists that I would like to have, and then I'm gonna talk about the ranking system. If I have time at the end, I'll probably spin off into spectator mode. So the two different types of playlists I want is, so right now how it looks is, we have Infinity Slayer, we have Infinity Big Team, and then we have like Team Throwdown, we have 2v2s, we have SWAT, that's really all I'm going to talk about. Okay, so the big thing, God, this chair's just not moving. There it is, Scott. So when I look at it, Team Throwdown is our premier competitive playlist, right? Well, obviously, Global Championship is there as well, but I'm not worried about Global Championship. I'll talk about that as well in this mix. But so let's just take Team Throwdown every single day, okay? What I would like to see is I would like to see two different join-up options for it. The first one, and I think I speak to everyone when I say this, but the first one, I would really, really like to have like a single duo or solo duo, maybe even a trio, as the three categories there. Join in like its own little thing. So what I'm saying is, if I'm a single, so if I'm going in solo, like I have to play solo. Like I can't go into Team Throwdowns on the 4 side unless I have 4 people in my party. And then what happens is what that does, as everyone knows, is that puts singles with other singles, and doubles with other doubles, and triples with other triples. And the reason why I want to do first or solo all the way to trios is because trios, sometimes they're looking for a 4th, and they can pick up the single. And really, I'm not worried about these 3, and the rankings for them and their own little playlist and everything like that is going to vary because of that. But the big focus that we should have here has to be 4v4. So by putting so much focus into the 4v4, that's when we will see a large amount of success. So you have your solo, your duo, your trio all in one section. So let's say it's like Team Throwdown, you click here, and then that's 2 bars, right? It's like join solo queue, and solo queue is basically parties of 1 all the way up to 3. And then down here is like 4v4. And what happens is when you go in there, you're playing 4v4s versus all the other people, right, that have teams, all the other people who want to show that they're the best at this game. Every single thing. And for, different playlists, sure, I don't care. When Halo 5 comes out, it's not like we're going to have a competitive playlist when we first come out anyways. So that's gone. What is going to be there, though, is going to be, there's always like one big one. So let's just call it, Infinity Slayer or Team Slayer or whatever it is. That's going to be the main one. So really what happens is so you have all the solos and the duos and the trios, and then what happens is everyone knows like the 4v4 is the pinnacle of the competitive scene. This is basically ripping everything off of League of Legends with how their online format is. Now with them you have to be a certain level before you can even play in ranked, but I don't like that for Halo. Instead, I would much rather see this. So when we get into 4v4s, and the reason why I would want that is because, well, 1, I'm the competitive guy, and 2, I honestly believe that we can highlight more of those players. Then we can go back to the online leaderboards. Now, this is a fucking necessity, and I will not stress this any more than I have to. An online leaderboard, I don't care if I can interact with it through my Xbox One, where I can just tell it to bring it up, or whatever the fuck kind of dumb shit I have to deal with Xbox One. I'm not worried about that. I don't care how you do it. If it's in-game, awesome. I would love to be able to, every time I sign in, see, oh, look at this, Requiem's number 1 right now in the boards. They took over the 1 place from Ambush last night. They must have really played their asses off. Cool. So now, for me, as a caster, that gives me something to always talk about, and for the players, that gives them something for them to play. That's awesome. I'm the big thing about the leaderboard here, which I think they're starting to understand just mainly because of the global championships. I mean, how many of you guys are actually just looking at the global championships and where you're playing it, like refreshing, seeing where you're at, who's above you, who's below you, and everything like that? And the big thing here is everyone is doing that. Every single person. Formal and Ninja at the event were like refreshing on their phones just to see if they were still in the top, until Formal knocked out Ninja, and then Formal fell to 5th and he didn't qualify. Those are awesome stories, man. Like, those are really, really good. And with the developer support we have, which is a theory we'll get into later, we could see awesome tournaments run much similar to the LCS of League of Legends. So we have this force, okay, and we have this online leaderboards. The online leaderboards is going to do 2 things. 1, it's going to fill that void of social comparison, which everyone and their fucking sister does, because everyone wants to know who's better than them and who's worse. When you're kicking ass at the game, you want to look at everyone who's below you. You're like, oh, you fucking dweeb. I'm so much better than you, and you've played like 3 times more than me. Fucking loser. Get out of your house. I'm so good. Woo! And then when you're down, it's like the complete 180, where you're like, fuck, man, I know I'm never going to make it. Like, I'm wasting my time. Look at this guy. This guy's got like 17 more wins than me. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't get it, right? But it's as a team. Like, in clan matches, I don't care if you call it clan matches, whatever it's called, whatever. Those were intense days. Intense. I remember sweating playing like STK. Like, we were VGA Legends, and we were going against STK. I remember just losing my mind. And like playing straight ripping on West Coast host and like losing or winning was awful. It was the worst experience for me in my entire life. It literally took years away from me, and people would play it all night long, and that's what they would do. It was amazing for them. And so with the online leaderboards, I would like to have the same thing for individuals joining the solo, duo, trio playlist. That to me, I think we can still get away with the same ranking system that I'm going to propose, but the problem is that a lot of people feel like they should be rewarded for individual skill. Now, here's the start of the ranked playlist. So, ranks, as we all know, are a necessity. We do. We need in-game ranks or the ability to, on the Xbox, press a button and pull up the leaderboards. I don't care which one you prefer. I'm fine with either, but if I can't do it through the Xbox, I don't want it. I want in-game ranks. No, you don't have to worry about people selling accounts and leveling up. Who cares? Honestly, are you really going to complain about people selling accounts when people are going to have to be buying brand new gamer tags for the Xbox One? Like, that's the least of your worries. It's not going to ruin anyone's online experience besides the people. You have to make it. So if you get a 50 and you sell that account or whatever it is, I don't care. That hustle's fine. Some of the best games in the world. Look at WoW. People sell accounts all the time. People level up accounts all the time, man. That's fine. It's one of the best games in the world for a reason. Or at least it was. God knows what it's doing now. It's still probably kicking ass. But you shouldn't be worried about people selling accounts. That's the least of your worries. You're worried about people playing your game. Just make it so whenever you attain whatever the level is, they drop down. They lose it. After X amount of losses, they're gone. That's the important part. So here's my idea for a ranked playlist. Now, assuming we can get the clan match or the 4v4s, I think the only way you can really do it, I think the only way you can honestly do it is if you do divisions. I would like to see divisions. Now, I know it's like a complete swagger jack off of all the other leagues, but we do have the guy Joshua, who worked with StarCraft, who worked with Call of Duty on the Waypoint team. I understand. So, like, you know, it's not really swagger jacking if we have him. I would like to see it go to the bronze, the gold, or the bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and then personally, I'm a big fan of the Masters and Grandmasters. I think there's a lot of people out there who would really love to have Grandmaster right next to their name. Just imagine like a little Master Chief helmet, like the Legendary. Fuck it, call it Legendary. Call it easy. Like, call it Legendary rank. I don't care. You can play into the lore all you want. Just make it so there's a bunch of different ones, and make it so it really distinguishes between who's good and who's not. So I'm in the Grandmaster, or I'm Legendary, right? That should be the elite of the elite. I'm talking like of 1,000. Let's say like 1,000 people play it. There should be like 50, 64 people in it. Like, it should not be a lot. It should be like 1 or 2% of the entire population can be Legendary or Grandmaster. I think it's 2% for StarCraft. I'm not 100% on that, but that's what it should be. That really, honest to God, should be. And then Master, you can widen it out more. But Grandmaster, people should be rewarded for that, and then everyone is going to chase after Grandmaster. I don't know if you guys have ever seen what StarCraft 2's, or like people who follow StarCraft are, but in their bio, they literally put like Masters Division. They're like, oh, Master in StarCraft, all random. It's like, cool. So then people are going to start being able to tell where they are. Like, realistically, for everyone, people are going to be like, oh, well, I'm in Platinum. I need to get ready to make that jump over to Masters. Cool, right? Like, that gives someone to strive for. Now, the big thing here is I always talk about setting goals. You have to set goals. If you're not setting goals, you're an asshole. You're a complete asshole. So for a lot of people, I talked about it in the video. But, you know, for a lot of people, like, if you're just attending your first event, your fucking first goal should be just showing up to that event and getting that done. That's your goal. Where you place after that is all personal record. I don't care. Set it wherever. Set your goal as just showing up to the event. And then after that, if you win the first round and then you get knocked out, and then you get knocked out in the loser's bracket, you can then strive for the round ahead or 2 rounds ahead or 3 rounds ahead of where you placed the last time. That makes a big difference. That always gives you something to shoot for. Now, you take that and you apply it to an online ranking system. You can literally break it down to months, right? So let's say every month that the playlists get reset, or like people shuffle up and down, okay? And then like that's how it works. People are just shuffling up and down constantly. Every month that you have your chance to switch up divisions or go down. So what happens is you go, okay, tomorrow soon is going to be August. By September, I need it. I know I can fucking do it to be in Masters from Platinum. And let's say you hit it. Done. You mark it down, goal achieved. Now your next one's going to be the Grand Masters. That's going to keep people hungry the entire time. And since you update it every month, guess what? You're going to have people holding on to play your game for longer. That's it. Like that's like that's like forming addictions, man. Like people, it's very, very easy way to do it. So you're sitting there and you go, okay, well, I need to make it to this. Like I'll quit after this. Like I don't think I have it in. And then what happens is they fall like that short. They fall just a little bit short. And so then they're like, well, fuck this. Like I have a really good chance of making Grandmaster. I have to continue to play. Salute, bro. It's all about keeping people actively engaged in your game. Like, especially on the competitive side. Like, right now, the competitive side is going to be like, like, we have the Global Championships. Awesome. Amazing. That's perfect. We don't really, like, AGL, we have, like, a small event in Atlanta and then a small event in Sturgis. So, pro players have really nothing to look forward to until November. Like, that's going to be the big event, is November. Besides, Global Champions. What the fuck? What the fuck? What are you going to do for 4 months? Or, assuming that math was just instant. I'm not 3 months. What are they going to do for 3 months? Right? It's weird. Weird. But so you add that playlist in there, and people who may not be going to events or cannot always go, they're going to be playing against people their skill range. They're going to always be getting better. They're going to be able to play. There are going to be times where they're going to be playing against some of the best of the best. And the big thing about this is it really rewards the people who are the best in your game. And what I mean by that is, so we're going to have a bunch of Grandmasters. Let's just take the Grandmasters we would have right now. In these streams, in these playlists, you wouldn't see people crushing noobs every single day. It wouldn't happen. The Team Throwdown would be a completely different beast. You would have makeshift teams. Let's say like Formal goes ahead and joins into a random playlist. His teammates could be Hoaxer, Sudeth 2, and like Chig, right? And it's just a random team that got formed. And then on the other team would be like, let's take Richie Hines, not backwards hat Richie though. He's a fucking dick. We take like Richie Hines. He teams up with like, Ninja, and then Ninja and Legit were there, so those two are a duo. And then their fourth is like Elamite, okay? For whatever reason, Elamite was on. That means like that's a pretty cool matchup to watch. So basically, it's gonna be like a bunch of all-star matches from AGL 8. And those matches aren't bad to watch. And so for players who don't always want to be looking for customs or can't always find it, they know that as long as they join that playlist, that they will be able to play against their top caliber players. That's a big thing for them. That's huge. That's always going to keep them engaged. That means they're not going to be running around playing Counter-Strike Go like fucking Maven and the rest of those clowns are doing. That's big. That keeps them engaged. So now, how I believe it should be, how it should work, I think with the divisions, there's only one way to do it. The League of Legends way is okay. I think with the ELO, but I wouldn't want to do the series I would like to just see people get moved up eventually if they achieve it or not. I think the best way to do it is you make everyone play. Let's say, the playlist resets or whatever. I say everyone plays, let's call it 8 games, okay? You play 8 games, and based on those 8 games, you get seeded into whichever division fits you best. So let's say I get seeded into Masters. Okay, cool. Then when I'm playing for that month, I'm rallying up my points. Let's say I have to get to, 1,000 points, okay? At the end of the month, I have to get to 1,000 points at the end of the month in order to go up to Grandmasters or whatever it is. Obviously 1,000 points could be too little, it could be too much, but so I have to hit that at the end. And then on the other side, someone in Grandmaster has to lose enough to the point where I can take their spot and be in Grandmaster. So when I win a game, I get plus 13. Okay, this is for solo. I get plus 13 or plus 12. Or plus 11, based with the algorithm that is used. Basically, the algorithm in a nutshell is it's like the people you're playing against all factored up. It's like an average. So if you have, I guess if you did Grandmaster, though, it wouldn't really be an average because it wouldn't be like Gold 2. It would be like everyone would be Master. So let's just call it 10 points a win, okay? And then it's 9 or 8 points a loss. So you can drop out. The big thing here is I don't want anyone to be secure. What I mean by that is, in League of Legends right now, I made gold, and by I mean Defy brought my account up to gold, and I can never get knocked out of gold. I am literally forever in gold. I can go in there every single game and just throw it and ruin people's day. Literally shatter their day. I can go in there, I can ruin Book 5 of Game of Thrones for people. I'm just like the worst person out there, and it doesn't matter. Does not matter. So I want no one to be content. I want everyone to know that every single time they go into the playlist, you should have to try your ass off. So what I mean is so let's say you get 10 points a win. I would like to see 7 points or 8 points a loss. Okay, so you can see how this adds up, and so that's why I said 1,000 maybe too much, but maybe too little. I mean, in the time of a month or whatever it is, it could be good and could really suck ass. So you're always striving for something here. And that's really the main thing here, is you always want to be striving for something here. And you have those online fucking leaderboards where you can go there and be like, okay, look, I'm at the top of Masters because I am kicking ass this week. People are bowing before me and I'm kneeing them right in the face because I don't care. That's what we're talking about here, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we want to see. So now, switching gears here over to the big premier competitive playlist here. There also should be a free-for-all as well. I think at this point everyone knows that Rumble Pit is the shit. A lot of people enjoy it, hence the Halo 4 Global Championships. And that should be basically top 2 get rewarded points. Everyone else gets a loss. Just like they're doing for the Global Championships. Take that exact same ranking, but add it into an ELO system. And we'll get to that. I want to talk about 4v4 right now. 4v4, I think, let's say it's clan match, okay, just to make things easier here. I think one of the first problems we'll run into is people having multiple clans. So obviously, whatever your clan tag is, when you start at the beginning of that month, or 2 months, whatever it is. It would probably be a month. I think a month is enough for... I think most teams stick together for about a month. I think. It may be less. We'll go with a month. So, at the beginning of the month, I start my clan. We are Team Pancake Strike Force. It is me, Maven, Hoss, and Ghost Ayami. Okay? 4 players. We play our 8 games, we get thrown into our division. We're ranked masters, we're hanging out, we're having a good time. When we win, how the ranks work in this, it's literally just a plus or a minus. If you win, awesome. If you lose, you're screwed. I want it to be just a bar. Just give me that old school Halo 2 bar where I have to squint to figure out how much I advanced, but just tell me at the bottom, like, how much. Let's call it plus 18 or plus 10, or whatever it is. However long until I fill up that bar, and then I get promoted. But when you lose, I want to be hit in the face with like a bat when I lose. I want to feel like sick to my stomach, like I just lost an event. I want to feel like how Lethal did after AGL 8, after, Infamous lost. That's how I want to feel when I lose a game. Like I want it to be significantly hard to handle. So it's a win-loss because you are with your team. There's no individuals here. You don't get rewarded for going 50-8 and your team